The first 30 days in collected revenues from your advertising, okay, I generated 280,000, right around that number. Okay, and that was the first 30 days. I couldn't believe it.
Yep.
I was working the same amount, okay, 3.5 days a week. So I was working about 13, 14 days a month.
Hey everyone, this is Keanu Oliva, the CMO and co-founder of Value Driven Ads. Today we're on the Client Success Interview Show where we highlight some of the most recent client successes that we've had with our newer clients. Today we have Dr. Hsue here on the show with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's a cold Alaska morning over here.
Cold down here too.
You actually have something very unique about your practice. You said you have a farm, right? How is that this morning?
Cold. All the kids are off to school. Wife's farting around outside. So I'm in here doing this interview with you.
Awesome. So can you introduce yourself to the audience, talk about your dental practice, the name of the practice, where you're located, and kind of bring them up to speed in regards to where the practice was at, production numbers wise, staff number wise, before you heard about Value Driven Ads?
Sure. My name is Dr. Hsue. I've been in practice since 1991, graduate of the University of Washington School of Dentistry. Over my 30-year career, this is the practice that I'm in now. I've had for 7 years, and it's called West Valley Dental. It's in a town called Tukwila, which is just south of Seattle, Washington. In those 30 years, this is my 7th practice. Okay. I bought and sold. Okay. So, this will be the practice that I retired with. So where I was prior to meeting you guys, I had tried multiple marketing companies. And the last one that I had, I won't name any names, but they started off doing really well for us. I signed a 2-year contract with them. This was pre-pandemic. It was going very, very well. When the pandemic hit, is where things kind of went sideways. I continued with the ad spend and with the marketing, even through all of COVID, when we were shut down for about a month and a half to 2. And, things were very spotty. I'm sure everybody else's practices were. But they kind of transitioned. They kind of transitioned to wanting to manage my office and manage my staff. And that's not what I wanted. They were going in the direction that I wasn't interested in. I've been managing for 30 years. I know how to manage my staff. Okay. We are extremely efficient. Most of my staff at this point are previous patients of mine or previous friends of mine. Okay. Like my hygienist was an assistant of mine. A couple of my assistants were my patients. So that's the way I tend to hire my people. So through the pandemic, they wanted to change things up, and it hurt us. Okay, our new patient numbers went down. And I wasn't sure what it was them or whether it was due to COVID. I think it was a combination of both, and they couldn't help me come out of that in the way that I wanted to. So I started looking, and I found you guys just searching through Facebook. You came up on my feed. I gave you, Keanu, a call. We did that quick interview, and got me thinking about maybe switching. Okay.
Got it. Yeah. So you were listening to the previous agency. They were giving you, it sounds like, mixed or bad consultative advice. You followed through with it. You saw the numbers drop. And how long did you go through that kind of period of pain before you considered reaching out to another marketing agency? Because for others who are watching this, our primary audience here is obviously other dentists. It's always a hard position to be in, right? You have that relational equity with someone, you trust them, and then to see that performance drop, how long do you accept that subpar performance, right? Before you as the entrepreneur have to pull the trigger. So how long?
Well, like I said, I was tied into that 2-year contract, which ended spring of this year, 21.
Got it.
So yeah, there was pain between about, August of last year to spring of this year. It was spotty up and down, and it was, I'm not complaining. We were doing fantastic numbers still in my book. Okay. I was averaging about 230 a month in collected revenue, but I knew I could do better. Okay. My schedule was spotty. And I was working at that time 3.5 days, 3.5 days a week. So I knew I could fill those areas if I could just get the patients through the door. Yeah. So, and then, again, so I started reaching out to different companies, and I talked to a couple of people before I talked to you. And I just liked what you had to say, awesome. And the 30-day freebie didn't hurt either.
So let's actually talk about that. A lot of our clients who sign up with us, that's a big deal for them, right? So let's talk about two things. Let's talk about how our first phone conversation went, because that was a very interesting call. You were a little bit skeptical. Can you share with the audience just kind of like the nature of that conversation for the first call?
Yeah, like I said, I've talked to many marketing companies over the years, and to tell you the truth, I heard your voice and I saw you on Facebook, and I said, well, how old is this kid? I mean, you look like you're 12. So I was like, but then I also knew this, okay? When I want something done with my electronics, I go to my kids. all this internet stuff, for somebody in my generation, at least, is foreign to me. And so I thought, he's young, he's probably innovative as hell. So let's give him a try. And that's what I wanted. And plus, not only the 30-day free trial at first, but I didn't have to sign any long-term contracts with you. So I could get out of it if I wanted to.
Exactly. And I think I actually told you on the call, because I believe in our first sales consultation, you were telling me, and I quote, you're like, what is up with all these other marketing agencies asking for a year-long contract right out the gate, man? I'm so fed up with it. And I think I'm probably the first marketer to tell you this. I said, look, man, I'll give you a 30-day free trial. We do this for everyone that's a new client. If I suck, fire me. Because at that point, I deserve to be fired. And so, let's talk about the 30-day free trial, right? So basically the offer was this: we were going to run your ads, build out the entire implant marketing system entirely free of charge, right? We wouldn't take any compensation home whatsoever for the first 30 days. And you just gave me a financial target. And then I said, let's come up with a realistic ad budget to hit that target. I believe within the first 30 days, you had set aside $8,000 of ad spend for the free trial, but your goals were very lofty, right? You wanted to have $200,000 in revenue collected in the first 30 days. So it was a equally high goal with a high ad spend amount. I actually believe we ended up underspending, if I recall correctly. We spent about $6,500. And can you talk about the results, right? At the end of the day, sure. There are a lot of agencies that have video testimonials, and the doctor's like, oh, they're great, they're nice people, but all comes down to the numbers, right? Sure. So we put $6,500 of ad spend in for the 30-day free trial. What did you get back in terms of revenue collected from that?
Well, let me preface that a little bit, because when we first talked on the phone, you asked me, well, how much more do you want to add per month? What went through my head was, well, how the hell can I give you that number? I mean, I could say I want another 500,000 a month, but none of it makes any sense unless, we're realistic. So I threw out a number of 50,000. So I wanted to get close to 300,000 a month, and I knew I could do it if I had the patience.
Got it.
Well, first 30 days, I think, no, I don't think. The first 30 days in collected revenues from your advertising, okay, I generated, I think, 280,000, right around that number. Okay, and that was the first 30 days. I couldn't believe it. Yep. I was working the same amount, okay, 3.5 days a week. So I was working about 13, 14 days a month. We're into, I'm 10 days away or 1 week away from my 60-day mark at this point that we're talking. You won't even believe my revenues, Keanu. I'm sitting at $480,000. Okay. If I don't hit 400,000 this month, I should be taken away in handcuffs. Okay. I'm going to hit very close, if not over 400,000 this month. I am at this point with I have 6 working days left. So basically I'm working 10 to 11 days a month right now.
Yeah.
So with a week, basically 6 full days left in this month, I'm sitting at $243,000 in collected revenue. I mean, I did that in a month before.
Yeah.
I can't even, I mean, the results that you are providing, the leads that you're providing, and the way we're trying to get through, you know, how to streamline all the patients that we're getting. I had 75 new patients last month. It was crazy. I don't remember the last time it happened. Maybe, you know, when I was in my early 30s and you have 3 doctors in the office. Okay, but I'm the only one. I have 6 staff members. Things are, you know, if this continues, I want to work 8 days a month. That's my goal.
That's amazing. And then hire an associate, though. Hire an associate.
Yes, and again, when I said, you know, the way I get my employees, my future associate is now a junior at the University of Washington School of Dentistry. She was my assistant before, so she's going to come work for me once she'll be out in June of 23. So she's excited.
Awesome.
And I'm sharing these numbers with her, and she's like flabbergasted.
Yeah.
So no, great things.
We're like 52, 53 days in and working with each other, right? And you're at $480,000 in collected revenue. So I'm sorry, I'm going to pull up my phone temporarily and calculate that, because like I know these dentists watching this. They're a numbers guy. I'm a numbers guy. You're a numbers guy, right? So 480,000 divided by, I think, like just say 52 days. So every single day, as a result of our marketing services, you've collected in revenue $9,230, right? It's absolutely insane. What was your return on investment of the ad spend like in the first 30 days? You did 278 within the first 30 days, 6,500 in. That's like, that's over like what, 30 to 1 for every dollar you're putting in. And how does that feel knowing that, you know, the ad spend that's going in, the investment that's going into the marketing, you can basically bank on that with almost a guarantee, like it's going to work out? How do you feel in terms of your energy around the practice, you know, the new vision you have for yourself for the future? What has that done to you, both on a personal level and the business level?
On a personal level, you know, it's given me more time, okay, to be able to leave town, and which I've been doing a lot. But I was doing that a lot before, but now I can do it without, I would leave town, but I would feel still tied. But now I've gone, this is my 4th trip since since you and I started 50 something days ago. And I'm okay. You know, I'm okay. I know the patients are there, that we can generate the income. As far as professionally, as a dentist, you know, working 3 days a week, I mean, nobody would believe this. Okay. No, none of I don't have a lot of dentist friends, okay, after this many times, but the colleagues that I do talk to, they would never believe this. And I try not to share numbers with them because I don't want to piss them off or, you know, make them jealous or anything like that. But anybody watching this, any doctors watching this, I mean, Keanu, you're free to give them my number. Okay. I'd be happy to speak to them in person. Okay.
I really appreciate it.
This is incredible. I've never dealt with anything like this. Okay. And I'm hoping this goes on. I'm one of those, when I make a decision, I act on it. Okay. And you have to act on this. If you don't act on this, then you're a fool. And I almost didn't. Yeah.
I'm glad you took the chance, because I really do remember that first call. You were so skeptical, and rightfully so. I don't say that in a disparaging way. You were rightfully skeptical because you had been through the carousel of marketing agencies, and you've been burned in the past. And for those who are watching this, you know, just like Dr. Hsue said, give us a shot. We don't bite, right? Like, we offer a 30-day free trial. Just cover the ad spend, and we will do our best to make you as much revenue as possible. So one last question for you, Dr. Hsue. Sure. What would you tell the dentist who is watching this video right now, right? They heard everything so far. You know, what would you tell them if they have any last hesitations, any last trepidations? Because really, right, there's, as you said, the difference between you having made $480,000 and making zero was you just taking the chance on the free trial. What would you tell the person watching this video right now?
You have nothing to lose. Okay. The the only thing is to give Keanu that 30-day shot. All right. Give him that 30-day shot. You can set where you want your ad spend. His recommendation is going to be 2,000. I wanted more because I wanted to seriously jumpstart after this COVID thing. Okay. I got all the results and more than I could have ever expected. 30 days is nothing. It goes by so fast. You'll find that you'll be able to work less. You'll be less stressed in the office. Keanu has great ideas on how to close patients if you need help with that. Even though I've been in business for a long time, this young kid has a ton to share. You would learn from him and you benefit financially in your practice, and you'll be able to pay your staff better. I'm buying a new CBCT here. It's being delivered in a week. I mean, it just opens up so many doors. Do it. That's all I can say. Do it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your testimonial. I really appreciate it. And like you said, right? For anyone watching this, just give me a shot and we will go above and beyond to deliver for you. And hopefully, 60 days from now, we'll have a similar story, just like Dr. Hsue. All right.
Thank you. All right.
Hopping on.
All right.